It's 18, and I'm with Sami Kallio from Happy Signals.
Yeah.
Welcome, good to see you again. And
Thank you.
Here for what, the third year now, is it?
Yeah, third year.
And how are you seeing the interest in, because it's customer experience that you guys do. We'll talk about that in a second, but is there more interest in that coming through?
Yeah, there is a huge shift to measuring more kind of the experience what service management is bringing. For example, the first year we were here, about 50% of people said immediately when we started to discuss with them they are not interested. Last year it was like 2 people that said that not interested, so there is the biggest change. This year people are coming to us when they see that we are talking something about the experience. They come to us and ask questions about it. So there has been a really big change in how.
And you guys do measurement of customer experience, is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how does that work? Just give me a sketch of that.
So we are measuring employee experience after each ticket is closed, and we are integrating our system to different tools. The thing is that we are doing it a bit differently and making sure that all our clients are also acting on base of the data. So not only collecting it for kind of agreement's sake, but really to get actionable data. I think the biggest difference, and to be honest, what we are really trying to do is change the industry. It's nice to say that as a company that has 10 employees, but the thing is that now the industry has been so focused on IT internal efficiency. Yeah. So we are challenging the industry at least to be thinking about how it feels for employees and how efficient it is from employees' perspective, so the customer's perspective who are using the services. So we are measuring not only the happiness, but we are also asking employees to estimate how much time was lost per each ticket. And now in our benchmark we know that the average lost work time is 3.5 hours. Best companies losing only about a bit more than 1 hour per each incident, and the other in 6 hours. So there is a huge difference between how easy it is to use the services and the employee perception of the services. So we are kind of trying to say that don't yet anymore optimize only IT internally, but really think about the value what you are bringing to the.
And that's about the value or the if you like, the satisfaction of the people working there.
And the satisfaction of the end users, the employees of organizations. So we are not measuring really IT people, but we are measuring the rest of the organization to really get that and as to use that to focus in IT.
And I saw on your stand you've got a nice watermelon.
Yeah.
What's the idea with that?
The idea with that is we have copied the idea, but the idea is that typically when you're measuring the traditional SLAs and you meet maybe your outsourced provider, all the SLAs are green, but still you feel that there is something wrong. There is employees that are complaining. The inside of the watermelon is red. Yeah. So that's kind of what we are solving, that problem, that you should understand more precisely what you are doing and how you are doing with services and get the inside to really understand and do the changes needed for service management.
So from the data that you've been building up over the last few years, I mean, what if you were writing or producing? I know you do produce content, but I mean, in terms of what you'd be saying to the market, what do you think are the sort of couple of things that organizations should do more of, or do better, or do at all that they're not doing at the moment, that would improve the quality of what they're delivering?
I think it's still the situation is that many of the ITSM tool providers are now talking also about experience. It's still, from my perspective, mainly talking, that this is now important. Everybody is thinking about it, but real actions are really rare still, that you really would be focusing on decision making based on what is the value for the end users. So that's a change what we are seeing now with the first clients, but it's still something that really has to be changed in the whole industry, meaning that employee experience should be the one driving the change, not something that everybody is just talking about, but do you really make the decisions on base of, let's say, channel development, for example. Are you really making decisions on what you do in certain channels because of that is cheaper for you, or because it would make employees more happy? And that's kind of the attitude change that will happen, I believe it. But we are kind of we are calling this step of happiness because we have to add happiness to everything. But you first have to measure and you have to get enough feedback, so you trust the result. Then start to do small actions with the data. So base your first decision on that. Then it's about cultural change. to change the whole IT to be aiming for better value to the business units. And then it is about changing the SLAs that you are having in your agreements. I see that as the last step because it's so complicated thing.
Well, it needs the trust and it needs the, as you say, the measurement. You need to have some quantification, and as you say, the culture to build on it. So it's less talk, more action.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah,
and more focus on and that joint thing between focusing on people and results.
Yeah, and I think the big thing in employee experience is that it helps really, let's say, providers and different parts of the organization and customers all work together. Because if you have enough feedback, so that you can trust what the employees are saying, you can get that with some other products as well than ours. But if you have enough feedback, you really can together make it. It's like I think we should do this, or you think this would be kind of a discussion. It is like this is the why we exist. This is why we have to make decisions on base of that. Service management wouldn't be there without the users of it.
So more data driven.
Yeah, it's
good. Well, thank you very much for that. It's very interesting stuff.
Thank you.
I look forward to seeing you next year with even more more action next year.
Yeah, that's the case.
Thank
yeah,
you
there are cases that have already done actions, but still would love them to do more. Thank you very much.
Thank you.